When you're on your fitness journey, you always picture the before and after. You always think about how you will look with your shirt off. You always think about how you will look when that scale goes down. But there's actually one thing that goes into the full physical transformation as your end goal that people always tend to forget about. Now, in this video, we're going to break down the inner work of what you have to do to get to the physical transformation. My name is Xavier Walker. I am an online health and fitness coach, and I have literally transformed over 100 people's lives through our program. Now, this video that you're about to watch is a group coaching call that we do inside of our program, but it was so good and deep that I really wanted to throw it on YouTube because I feel like this is a message that a lot of people need to hear because we constantly forget about this. So sit back, take some notes, and let's get into it. So the reason why I named this the real transformation is just simply because I feel like we as people get too caught up on the physical transformation, which is good. We all want the physical transformation, but we also tend to forget about the internal work at the end of the day because the physical, that's the bonus and that's the perks of what comes with when you take your health seriously. So I want to talk about the actual inner work when it comes to a real transformation. People always talk about this transformation, and I'm not talking about myself in this picture. I'm talking about the physical transformation. This is where people spend the most time thinking about is the physical transformation. So I'm not talking about this transformation today because that person on the left, that person had to go through a whole bunch of things to get to the person on the right. First and foremost, the before. This is just a little backstory about me. Before the transformation, before the inner transformation, I used to lack the confidence. I hated how I looked in the mirror. I ate junk food every night. I never used to drink water. I literally lived off of juice. I kid you not. I was like the biggest lemonade person ever. I could never stay consistent. I was really off and on. And then I had the all or nothing mindset. And if you don't know what the all or nothing mindset is, it's just going all in on one thing. And then typically when you have that, you tend to fall off very easily because you're going all in. I thought you had to train 6 days a week to see results. As you know, most people in this program, the people on this call, the people who's watching a recorded call, all you guys are on 3 to 4 day training splits. You guys are all seeing results. So it's not about the amount of days that you're spending in training. I had very low energy levels. I was always groggy all the time. I was always crabby all the time. Never slept well. A good night for me, it was waking up maybe twice on a good night. Typically, I used to wake up like 3 times in the middle of the night. Now I sleep like a baby. And I also dealt with gut issues. I was constantly always bloated 24/7. So this is the before. Now, the confidence is at its all-time high. I'm proud of the person I see in the mirror. I'm not perfect, but I rarely eat junk food. Once again, I'm not perfect, but I drink a gallon of water a day. I show up for myself even when I don't feel like it. Now I train 4 days. My energy levels are at its all-time high. I'm happier. I'm not as crabby anymore. I sleep great. I can get a good night of sleep now. Now, I'm not telling you guys this. I'm not showing you guys my transformation. I'm not showing you guys the before. I'm showing you guys this because this doesn't happen overnight. This is years in the making of me trying to figure all these things out. Obviously, with you guys in the program, what took me 5 years to do, some of you it may take you a year. But the reason why I'm going to the befores, showing you guys the before, because I dealt with all the things that you guys are probably dealing with right now. And this is how we're going to overcome this because this is how we get to the real transformation. So this is the true transformation because like how I said earlier in the call, I feel like we get too caught up on the scale. We get too caught up on how we look, but we forget about these key points because this is where the real transformation is. That pair of jeans you've been wanting and now you can finally fit in them. That's a transformation. The shirt that you used to wear and now you literally swim in it. That's a transformation. You can keep up with your kids better as you get older. That's a transformation. You're now sleeping better at night. That's a transformation. You couldn't sleep at first. Now you're sleeping better. Now you sleep like a baby. That's a transformation. Your energy levels are now high. Another one. That's a transformation. You don't feel sluggish anymore. You used to carry yourself around super sluggish, low energy levels. That's a transformation. Now, you used to be intimidated walking into the gym, and now you walk in the gym like you own it. That's what we're looking for. Even better, you're sharper at work now because you're fueling yourself properly with the food that's needed in order for you to feel that way. This is what the true transformation is all about. Yes, looking in the mirror, dropping away, all those things, those are pretty on paper. Those are very pretty. But at the same time, this is what I want you guys to start looking at when it comes to transformation. It's these things. because all these things play a role into your full transformation. Because when you forget about these things and your mind is so laser focused on the outcome, on a goal, you're going to have a very hard time of getting there because you're so locked in on the goal. Yes, losing the weight, building the muscle, yes, those are all perks of what comes with identifying all these things first. Once we start to identify all these things first, that's where the real play starts to happen. So this is the true transformation, and this is why I really want you guys to start looking at. So don't get too caught up on the bigger picture of what you want your body to look like. Of course, that's going to come with it, but how you're feeling internally, your energy levels, you have more mental clarity, all those things are what really plays a true role into the transformation. Because at the end of the day, what people tend to forget about is the mindset. Mindset is a huge thing in fitness, because if this isn't strong up here, then your body will not follow. But if your brain is strong, your body will follow. The body follows how strong you are up here. That's where your body is going to start to follow. So this is why I really want you guys to really take in consideration when you're in this program, even when you're done with the program, and just your day-to-day activities, start to look at these things. So now, how do you get to this point? It starts with the identity shift. This is huge. You already have to see yourself as that person. You already have to see yourself as that fit person. You already have to see yourself as that person that's showing up consistently. You already have to see yourself hitting numbers in the gym consistently, hitting your 10K steps consistently. It all starts with the identity shift. You have to see yourself like that person already right now, starting on this call, after this call, right now in this present moment. This is how you want to look at yourself every single day. Don't look at yourself as oh, I'm too lazy, or I'm too tired, or I don't think I can do that. Because if you keep thinking that way internally, then you will stay in that spot. But when you start to look further and start to have this identity shift, that's where things start to change. So your mindset changes from I hope I can to I will. These are the things that we have to start saying, is get rid of the I hope I can mindset. Now let's flip this into a I will mindset. No matter how small or how big, you can be feeling like absolutely tired. You don't feel like doing anything. You don't feel like hitting your meals. But I will always say, forever, a bad workout is better than no workout at all, because you still showed up for yourself. And on the days where you show up for yourself, I guarantee you, those are the days where you have to go the most hard, because those are days where you probably start to get a little bit stagnant, start to get comfortable. But at the end of the day, one of my favorite sayings is that you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So when you have this identity shift, your relationship with food improves. Yes, I don't want everybody, yes, of course, you don't have to eat like a rabbit all the time. That's why I said in the beginning, when I say that I rarely eat junk food, but I'm not perfect. Because from time to time, yes, I may slip up and eat the junk food, but I'm not looking at it as like a slip up, because I improved my relationship with food, because I'm not looking at food as this bad thing at the same time. So you stop attaching your worth also to the scale. This is a big no-no. You have to get rid of that mindset. Don't attach your worth to the scale, because this is where the identity shift starts to happen. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. When we get too attached to the scale, okay, now we're worrying about the physical side of the transformation. So we have to detach ourselves from that scale. This is why we all have you guys weigh yourself once or twice a week, because we don't want you to get too attached to the scale. Because you have to go back to what I said earlier, the real identity shifts happen internally. Now, you build discipline and trust with yourself. This is when you start to have that identity shift. You start to build the discipline within yourself. You start to build that trust within yourself. This is where the real growth starts to happen. You feel better, you sleep better, and you move better. This is what happens when you start to have this identity shift. Now, I don't want this identity shift, or what I'm talking about in today's call, to just happen for a couple of days. This is something that you practice. This is something that you get better at over time. But you only get better at it over time if you continuously practice it every single day. Your new identity moving forward, this is what I really want you guys to focus on. You show up even when you don't feel like it. Like how I said earlier, the days where you don't feel like doing anything, you don't feel like hitting your steps, you don't feel like eating your meals, you don't feel like training, that is the day where you go the most hardest out of all the days. Is the days where you don't feel like showing up for yourself. Because when you do show up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it, your brain is going to trigger that, and you're going to get a lot of dopamine hits from that, because you did the thing for yourself. You had that self-discipline. You had that trust and thing with yourself, even if it wasn't the greatest workout of your life. but you still went to go do the thing. You value your health the same way you value your work and family. This is a huge one. Everyone makes doctor's appointments. You show up to those in a heartbeat. Everyone makes dentist appointments. You show up to those. Treat your health the exact same way as you treat any other thing, your work, your family, as any other thing, because your health is probably just as, but more important than all those other things when it comes to that. So start to look at your health as like this temple for yourself that is super important, and you don't want to mess up that temple. So you fuel your body properly. This is why I want you guys to start doing this like consistently after this call. You choose discipline over comfort. Remember, comfort keeps you stagnant. Comfort keeps you in the same exact spot as you are right now, the same time tomorrow. So choose the discipline over comfort. Be comfortable with the uncomfortable. You see yourself as the type of person who gets results. You're already that person who's getting results. This is where you start to, I want you guys to really start to think about this. You're already that person starting right now, watching this call. You're already that person who's shown up consistently for themselves, who has the discipline, who's not lazy. You're already that person. I want you guys to start to see yourself as that person already. You understand the physical transformation is the bonus. This is what I've been trying to preach to you guys. Physical transformation is the bonus. The reason why I named the program X Fitness Transformations is because it's not about just the before and afters. Like I said, that's a perk, that's a bonus. But the reason why I named X Fitness Transformations is because it's about the mental and physical transformations. It's about the internal work. It's about you feeling confident than ever before. It's about you actually feeling confident when you take your shirt off when you go to the pool. It's about those type of transformations. The physical transformation, that's going to come with the perks when you start to hone in on all these other things and start to work on these identity shifts. That's where the real magic starts to happen. And that's what I want you guys all to really start to focus on. I hope you guys all enjoyed the video. Like how I mentioned earlier in the video, this call was for our private group coaching calls that we do inside of our program, where every single week I pop on the call and present a lecture at hand every single week. Now, if you feel like you've been stuck on your fitness journey and you really want to take your health to the next level and you want to be involved in group calls like this inside X Fitness Transformations, what you're going to do is go down in the description down below. There's going to be a link to a application. From there, after you fill out the application, we're going to pop on a call with my team. And then from there, we're going to see even if you're a good fit before we dive deeper within anything else. So if you want to get to that next level, click the link down below and I will see you on the other side.